these drivers Honda's fastest seat in motorsports. Very popular sweepstakes. This season, you'll have 6 chances to win. You can log on to shophonda.com to enter. And this week's lucky winner is Alan Haley. Alan, can you hear me up in the booth?
I sure can, Bob.
Hey, Alan, how's it going?
This is awesome.
You're pumped for the ride around before the start, huh?
I'm really pumped. Honda and Indycar and Isaiah are awesome.
Did you ever think that you'd win when you entered the contest?
Never. Always hoped.
Have you ever been to the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach before?
My first trip.
And what a way to see the beginning of it, huh?
That's right. It'll be hard to top this.
Alan, have a good ride.
Thanks, Bob.
By logging on to shophonda.com, Alan won the opportunity to start today's race in the IZOD 2-seater, and it is being driven again this week by Al Unser Jr., who has a remarkable, hello Al, has a remarkable record here at this facility, but taking Alan Haley on the ride today. They're leading the field along this 1.968 mile track. On board with Will Power, who won the pole again here at Long Beach. The 3rd consecutive time that he has won the pole for an IZOD IndyCar Series race this year. A rather easy win again for Power, and a $10,000 check from Peak Performance goes to Will Power. Now, have there ever been drivers that won 3 consecutive poles to open the season? Yes, as a matter of fact, there now have been 7. Foyt in 65, Andretti, Unser, Rutherford, Mears, and Andretti again, and now Will Power. Will adding his list to a name to a very impressive list of race drivers.
It takes about 24 years to do it, but
Okay, Jan, let's go around this 1.968 mile racetrack.
From those aerials, you got a little bit of an idea that obviously it's on city streets, the main being Shoreline Drive, just under 2 miles. Here, coming into turn 1, just over 170 miles an hour, and you can see highlighted in red, an awesome place to pass. Another place you want to keep an eye on is at the end of the back straightaway. That's almost 170 again, right here. Hard on the brakes in turn number 9. And then, of course, the signature turn less than 30 miles an hour, 28, 29 miles an hour. You get all the way down to first gear in turn 11. Now, from a strategy standpoint today, this is the kind of race that you want, and that is big pit windows. You could drive anywhere from 27 to 30 laps on a tank. In other words, if you're saving a little bit of fuel, you could get to 30. If you're really on it, it would be 27. Look what that does for the pit windows. That gives you the opportunity. Anytime you see big splits there, that means lots of opportunities for different pit strategy, and of course, makes it an easy 2-stop race. Marty? Kevin?
John Zazanikis has been with Newman Haas for many years, and he will call the strategy for Oriol Servia, who will start 4th. Well, we know it's a simple 2-stop strategy, but that doesn't mean that you get to take the day off. What things are you dealing with today? What are you thinking about?
Well, I mean, like you said, it's going to be a 2-stop, and we're just going to basically where we're starting in a good position of 4th. We're just going to try to keep our nose clean and just run with the leaders and kind of do what everybody else is doing in front of us. So we hope, you know, Long Beach can be a crash fest at times, so we hope we get through all the incidents and can bring the car home in one piece.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Look for the Telemundo car. Marty, over to you.
Well, Kevin, this front row should be very interesting at the IZOD Performance Pit Center. And I talked to Will Power moments ago. Whoops, I'm moving Ryan Hunter-Ray there. I talked to him moments ago, and he said he knows what Ryan Hunter-Ray is going to do at the start of this race. He said, I heard him say he's going to be very aggressive today, and I know he's going to be that. He said, no doubt, going into turn 1, it'll be a game of chicken. I'm not going to lift because I know how bad I need that lead once we get out of turn 1. He's going to be aggressive going on the outside. It should be a lot of fun. Lindy?
We were talking earlier about how the weather is affecting setups here. Elio Castroneves stopped me before we were coming out here and said, hey, we had to add 100 pounds of downforce because of this weather. But he said now the car feels fantastic. It feels great. Another part of their strategy, they picked the very first pit box because he said we do not want to be caught in any mess.
And one point that Marty was making about the front row and what Ryan Hunter-Ray is talking about versus Will Power. Uh-oh. on Anna Beatrice.
And that's talking about the tires earlier in our stand-up about it's so difficult to get heat in these tires right now the way the weather is, and I bet she was just warming her tires up and it spun around.
Wow, kind of an embarrassing moment for Anna Beatrice.
Yep, that's all it was.
Oh, and didn't hit anything, thank goodness.
And when she puts her hand in the air and puts it in a circle, that means I need a restart.
Keep doing that signal that you need started.
That's to tell the corner workers that I do not. They need to know the difference between trying to select reverse and if it needs restarting. The Homatro safety team has starters on board. The cars do not, so they'll get this refired.
And that's going to be, listen, unless this place warms up considerably, that's going to be an issue after the pit stops. You know, these guys come, they put fresh tires on the car, they come out of pit lane, and you got to get going. And it takes a lap or two to get the temperature into these tires. And as you can see, there's not much room for error on this place. You got walls on both sides of it.
To add insult to injury, they got her fired up, and then she stalled it. They're desperately trying to get her out quickly before the lead cars come by.
Yeah, she's fired again, and now begins to move away.
Ooh, just in time.
Oh, just ahead of the pace car and the rest of the field. On board with Oriol Servia in that Newman Haas car, and they have won more races at this facility than any other team owner. Here is J.R. Hildebrand of the National Kart Car, starting back in 27th, penalized during qualifying, so he starts scratch on the field. Here's Ryan Briscoe. As Jan said earlier, he was the quickest in all the practices, but will start in 12th position today. Here's Tony Kanaan. 2 top 10 finishes this year. He will start in 10th position here this afternoon for KB Racing Technology in the Geico sponsored car. Justin Wilson has a 5th starting position. He's a teammate with Anna Beatrice. Will Power is the pole setter once again.
And just before Anna Beatrice had her spin, I was setting up the start, and Will Power is going to go on the left. Ryan Hunter-Reay on the right. All the drivers saying the right lane is shorter distance and has better grip. So that what Ryan Hunter-Reay is going to try and do is out-drag him down that straightaway.
Well, let's see how they get lined up 2 by 2 as they come off corner number 11. Only about the first 3 rows are in formation. It's kind of a staggered and stretched out start.
Well, Hunter-Reay's taking a look. Not enough.
Nope. Will Power is going to lead the way into turn number 1 with Ryan Hunter-Reay right behind him.
That was not the way that they drew it up, but that was in one way what the drivers were hoping for. That was to have a little more spread out start here, but they had drawn it up. They wanted to have a lot more rows together and closer, but the good news is, at least as far as we can see, everybody threw cleanly.
That was about the same way we saw the start for the Firestone Indy Lights race that you saw earlier this afternoon here on Versus, won by Connor Daly. Mike Conway running 3rd, Oriol Servia running in 4th spot, and Justin Wilson running 5th as they come between turns 8 and 9. Everybody in single file formation. This is a very tricky part of the racetrack. Turn number 10, and then the hairpin, the final turn, leading on to the front stretch once again.
Yeah, I will. Just keep working that fuel. You had a good start. Let's just hang in there. Long race.
You cannot win the race on the first lap, but you certainly can't lose it. And I'm hoping that drivers will heed those words. They're the 2 Ganassi cars. They're running back in 7th and 8th position. Let's take a look at the replay once again and watch Will Power now from his pole position.
Well,
he was he was where he was supposed to be.
Yes,
That's the lane that he chose. It was Ryan Hunter-Reay